before we get started, I'll just let everyone know that you're in Schenectady, New York, and please just introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Eddie Polanco. I'm a Getting Ahead graduate, Getting Ahead facilitator, and Bridges Out of Poverty certified trainer.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is June Roman. I'm also a Getting Ahead facilitator and graduate of the program. And I also incorporate Getting Ahead here at the City Mission and in the community as well.
Great. Thank you. I think the last time we talked may have been around COVID or just somewhere in that area. But tell me, are you seeing things better or worse since COVID? What's going on there?
It's been worse. I would honestly love to say it's gotten better, but because of COVID and the fear of COVID, it's gotten a lot worse because people are afraid to come out. They're afraid to engage. They're afraid of the community settings, and it's become a lot harder to, institute the group setting. But it's also good at the same time because we've been able to engage with other resources around the neighborhood and community and integrate the Bridges Out of Poverty constructs with them to be able to do and utilize the resources to help engage those that meet us on an individual basis.
Give me some examples. Can you give me one or two?
Yeah, I can give you a quick example. So the last group that I did was in Hillside View, which is one of the new developments they just built here in Schenectady. Beautiful building. And we were doing Getting Ahead and Just Getting By World there, and I was doing it with Sister Chris Parsons. And the graduates there, they really took off. They started their own, what we call staying ahead. After they graduated the program, it was just 7 women that joined us in that group. But these women really went on to take off. So they realized that they had an issue with packages being stolen. And so they went up to the manager and made a proposal on creating a safe where all the packages that do come in, they will put in the safe so this way they won't go missing anymore. They also created a community garden where we have cookouts now once a year to just remind us of getting ahead and just getting by world. So once a year I get invited to the barbecue, and they invite other agencies such as SICM, other partners. We actually met with our nutritionist at this function that she does our nutritionist class here now. And sadly, they had a fire just a couple of months ago.
Oh, no.
But it was the women from the Getting Ahead program that really took lead and started bringing everyone to our cafe, making sure that they were safe, they were clothed, they had somewhere warm because it was still winter, still kind of winter now, but it was cold, really cold at the time. And they came to our cafe, they got to eat, they got to, stay in a warm, safe place. They got clothing, they got all the resources that they needed, all because these ladies took the initiative instead of just sitting there and waiting for, what is it called? I'm trying to think of FEMA. They were waiting for FEMA to come through. They took the initiative themselves to come down here and utilize the resources that they knew were available to them. And so that was one of the greatest examples I've seen when they take the initiative themselves to do something about what they're going through in that moment.
Great. We always talk about it's all about relationships. It sounds like that was true on there. Wow. How many? So right now, sorry, go ahead, Eddie.
All right. I just wanted to piggyback a little bit more. A lot of opportunities came from after the COVID. People were nervous, things are different, but our ambassadors program has grown so much from it. A lot of our programs, a lot of stuff we do here are, with the bridges and the Getting Ahead content is integrated into everything we do. So our ambassadors program, all the ambassadors are not required, but they're all Getting Ahead graduates. The principles, the content is very important and has shown that it helps our graduates become great ambassadors. They know how to implement what they learn and put it to practice out there. But the ambassador program has grown not only in the hospitality part downtown, but because of the COVID and the need and the opportunities that came from that, now we have something called Ambassadors 2.0, which I kind of oversee. And I mean, we go boots to the ground. We're talking about going into the cemeteries, folks that they're living in tents, maybe under bridges, struggling. They don't know where, what resources are available, how to navigate the resources. We're really bringing the resources to them, and we're helping folks get to rehabs, turn their lives around, because every single one of us, we're walking, talking proof that this stuff works. Every single one of us that go and interact with these folks, we all have that lived experience. So, it's taking the ambassadors program to a whole new level. We even have a location downtown, a storefront. We're doing a ribbon cutting actually this Thursday. And I mean, just the resources that has come together. We got this thing called the Schenectady Hub, which is our Department of Social Services, other organizations like Bethesda House and SCAP and Mohawk Opportunities, which are also resources that help those folks in need. We get together every other week and we meet and we discuss cases and we go out there, we break up into groups. And I mean, they even gave me a van where like this thing is loaded. It's like my Batmobile. It has water bottles and food and clothing and all kinds of stuff in it. I mean, and this is stuff that all came from, all right, let's sit down. What can we do about helping people in a time like the pandemic? And now, I mean, it's not as bad as it was, the pandemic, and we're over that part, but like, I'm seeing everything that came out of it, and maybe none of this stuff would be available if that didn't happen. So, great opportunities.
Thank you. Yes. So as you think about that and talk about all the things that have happened, tell me a little bit more about some of the vision for the future. Anything on the horizon?
Yes, actually, we just found out we've been blessed with the Schenectady Foundation is going to be allowing us to get the funding so we can do more getting ahead programs in the community.
Wonderful.
So because the COVID restrictions have been lifted, we're allowed now to go back into the community, go back into the new developments where they got these beautiful conference rooms not being utilized for nothing. We're going to be able to utilize these sections to do getting ahead and just getting by world, and afterwards do staying ahead. So we've really been blessed with that opportunity, so we just are so excited. We're about to work with drug court, and then that's another exciting avenue for us that, was closed because of the COVID, but now it's open once again. And just, there's a lot of opportunities over the horizon that are coming our way. And we're really excited to just take on the opportunities that are given to us.
Wow. Thank you. It's always making me smile when I hear about things that are happening. And, I think the foundation has been a partner of yours for a long time, and I'm glad that they've stuck with you. It's great. So talk to me about your lives. Things are still going well, and you're seeing growth there too?
Take the lead on this.
I mean, it's, like I said earlier, we're walking, talking proof this stuff works.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first came down our walkway here at the City Mission and was introduced to the Getting Ahead program and the City Mission, it was in 2012. Here we are in 2024, and I have a wonderful career, wife, children. I mean, more than I can ask for. Like, it's, after so many years, it's still surreal to me. The opportunities and the things that I've been blessed with. I look back at everything, and when I share my journey with people, and they're like, "Oh my God, your story's great," and I still sometimes got to pinch myself because I didn't. You would have asked me back in 2011. You would have said, "Hey, Ed, what do you think years from now you're gonna have this in your life, and you're gonna have this many kids, and your wife, and your career? You're gonna be overseeing this program." And I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, me and Mike Sakosho, we went and had a great dinner with an author from a book and stuff. And I'm sitting down and I'm talking with people that I would have never fathomed the idea of that happening. Like, it's surreal. So,
Yeah.
But it's great. I'm enjoying the ride every step of the way.
Good. You have to, it makes it not feel like work, obviously.
No, absolutely. And it gives hope to a lot of the folks that we interact with, whether they're residents here or, getting ahead class or coworkers, ambassadors people we interact with, they see in the stuff that we talk about. Everything is like practicing what we preach. They're seeing we don't just talk about this stuff, we live it,
Right. Yeah.
Especially when they're struggling and we tell them like our lives are not perfect. We still there's still challenges, problems, obstacles, that they get thrown our way. But, the beautiful thing about it is the abundance of resources and support and just knowing how to navigate through the difficult times and how to process the challenges and come up with a plan and future story and continuing the future story and just putting together smart goals. Like these are priceless information. It's almost like we're given a cheat code to life because, and I hate to call it that, but I feel like I have like a blueprint where, I don't have to drive myself crazy when I'm struggling with something because the Eddie Polanco from 2011 is a whole different Eddie Polanco 2024. Like I don't drive myself. All right. Well, if I don't know how to figure this out myself, I know I got people I can talk to, resources I can reach out to, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. June, anything to add on that one?
My own challenges, medically, not for myself, but for my family. And it was hard. My daughter needed a bone marrow transplant 2 years ago. She just celebrated her 2-year anniversary 2 days ago. And so, this is where, getting ahead really helped me because I had to leave Schenectady County where I knew all the resources are, where I can actually utilize the resources, and move outside of my comfort zone to a new county in Rochester. So instead of giving up and losing all hope because things weren't going my way, I started using my social capital, reaching out to those that I knew I couldn't do the parts of myself. And so I started reaching out to my broad net of social capital to be able to help me and assist me with finances, my insurance policies, everything that I needed to be able to assist not only my daughter, but myself, because we were there almost 6 months. And I also want to say that I've come to terms to learn that I've gone from just living a life of survival to sustainability. I've gone on to purchase my own home. I've gone on to really take care of my family, to be a husband and a father, because just because I have a certificate and a ring doesn't make me a husband. And I've really come to really play that role and take real responsibility. And I also want to say that, I've really been blessed with a team, a network that I can always turn to, especially in those dark times when you feel like all hope is lost, and, now I got my associate's degree in human services, and now I'm going for my KSAC. I'm one class away from getting my KSAC certificate, and I'm really excited about that. Robin has helped me to make an internship with New Choices Recovery, another one of our partners that we work with very closely. So I won't even be too far. And really, I just love what we have here because we have all the resources right on this block and people won't even know. So we just don't help the residents that live in the city mission. We help the community as a whole. So we don't turn anyone away, whether it comes to physical health, because we have a clinic. We have the mental health providers. We have KSAC workers. We have interns from Albany Med coming in and helping and assisting us. We have counselors and psychotherapists and actual therapists. We have an abundance of resources right here on this block that people don't even know. They walk by these buildings and don't even realize what's available to them. But because we're able to share that with them, then it makes it a lot more feasible and easier for them to be able to utilize these resources.
Thanks. Yeah, you're so right. I have to tell you that your influence goes beyond Schenectady. Mike was in my community in November, and he shared the story, and he shared about you and the things that were happening, and it really energized those that were hearing the information. And so we're seeing wonderful results here where I live too. So thank you for being willing to share your stories, because it's really helping other communities. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, no, it's good. So think back maybe to that Eddie in 2011, or as your life was, starting to come back. And I think, what are some hidden rules that you may have learned in your earlier life that you're using now in the workplace, or some of the things that maybe you had discovered years before that you, as far as hidden rules, that you had before that you're still using? Does that make
Prior
sense?
to coming here or getting ahead, knowledge on hidden rules.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I don't know, like specific. I could just say all my lived experience from before. I mean, before coming here, we're talking about single parent, being raised by just my mother, drug addiction, mental health, physical, sexual abuse, like poverty. I mean, I was living in the Bronx 15 years. So I take all of that and, really apply it to what I do. And, the fact that once I started learning the getting ahead stuff and being exposed to the content and really learning how to integrate it and all that stuff, like I was learning to take negatives and turn them into positives, how to become the value and how people say we're experts in homelessness, in addiction, in incarceration,
Right.
To take the poor choices I had in the past and the time I spent in jail or homeless or chasing drugs and turn that and call me an expert in those areas because of my lived experience. I mean, like every day I utilize that every single day, how I grew up at home and how, my mom would pull me from school to go with her to the Department of Social Services because she didn't speak English. Like, whenever I interact with folks in the community or the residents here, I'm able to identify with a lot of them with a lot of the stuff they're going through, that's the best part of it. Like,
Right.
taking all of that stuff and really utilizing it to share it to help others, but also to help them navigate through their times and their resources. So give them hope and let them know that, look, if I can make it, you can make it. The Getting Ahead book does not say for Eddie Polanco and June Roman, like it wasn't written for us. This stuff, these opportunities, they're for anybody who wants it, anybody who's willing to take their life, turn it around, and like really work on that future story.
Thanks. June, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say that also, since we're able to, speak in bilingual, if we have an influx of, the new population that we have are Hispanics. And so we've been able to even go out into the community and help them engage, because even the local agencies and local churches who have tried to help them can't communicate with them. And so the language barriers become a big issue. But now, because we are able to speak, Spanish, we're even getting ahead in Spanish here as well, which is another plus, because a lot of people were going through the classes without understanding any of the material, and that's not what that was intended for. And so now, because of that, we've been able to even branch out more into the community, go deeper, a little further than most people can, just because of that reason alone. So, that's a real blessing there in itself.
You got it. Totally agree. Well, thank you. Any last thoughts? Anything else I didn't ask that you would like to talk about?
No, you gonna be here for the ribbon cutting at 2?
No, I'm not going to make that, but congratulations on that. Yes.
Well, I would just say this, like any resources out there, any agencies, any places that is looking to see how or thinking about how integrating the bridges and getting ahead content and policy with what they do, like, I would tell them go for it, because like one thing I noticed in over the years and still notice is all these organizations, even the police department, when we gather and we get together, any issues and we're brainstorming, I mean, to see a shelter be in the center of it all.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be a shelter. Like when you think of a shelter, it's food, clothing, and but we're so much more than that. And we've proven that we are a huge resource. And you can just see it everywhere we go, like people turn to us and say, okay, what do we do? And that's a beautiful thing. And it comes with them making that, taking their principles, what we do here, the bridges and getting ahead content, and really marrying them together and making a wonderful resource and being a leader and a role model in this community. So
yeah. Thank you for the years that you've done this and for the years that you will continue. It really makes a difference in the community.
thank you.
Ah, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much.
Yes.